Dongchimi by far is one of my favorite kimchis. I think it's super underrated, but it's refreshing, it's vegan, and it's perfect. So I'm excited to show you how to make mine. It is a crossbreed between a recipe from my grandmother and the recipe that Manchi uses. Dongchimi is usually a 6 to 8 day process, so plan ahead. And I'm going to start. I have 4 2-pound Korean radishes that I'm just scrubbing with the rough side of the sponge with no soap just to get any impurities out. And because they're so large, I am cutting them into quarters. Once you have your radishes clean and cut, you can salt them. Here I'm using half a cup of salt at first. You just want to use as much salt as it takes to coat your radishes evenly. Once they're coated in the salt, you can pack them in your containers. Ideally, you would have glass containers for your dongchimi. Here I only had plastic containers. Just be mindful that plastic containers can leak and crack under the pressure of fermentation. Clean the sides of your containers and put the lids on. Then you're going to move them to the fridge. Leave them in there for about 4 to 6 days. Here, I pulled them out after 4 days in the refrigerator. You can see that they leaked out a bunch of water. And what we're looking for is slightly translucent radishes. Now we're going to cut our aromatics. First, destem your peppers. Here I'm using 3 Thai chilies. Ideally, you would use long red Korean peppers, but they didn't have any at my H Mart. Then peel your ginger. Here, I was using a spoon, but then switched to my knife because the spoon was so dull. You're going to want to get about 2 tablespoons of minced ginger. Mince about 4 cloves of garlic. Clean as you go, and cut a whole onion, small to medium sized, and you're going to half moon them. And now you're going to half moon about a cup of Korean pear. I just used about 4 slices. Now we're going to put our aromatics in our dongchimi. The smaller portion is just the extra radish that I had for my family, and the bigger one's going to my grandmother. So you're going to want to make sure you put everything in, and I tried to stir it in order to distribute, but it's unneeded. And you're going to put 3 green onions, stems and all, into your larger dongchimi jar. Now you're going to top your dongchimi with filtered water. You want to fill the jar so that the water is covering everything. Put the lid on and shake to distribute all your aromatics. It's like a savory, funky snow globe. I had some bichu, which is Korean chives, left over from a different type of kimchi making. So I just bundled it with some twine and put it in, just for some added extra garlic onion flavor. Once you have your water, your radish, and your aromatics all set, you're going to leave your dongchimi out for about 2 to 3 days in a spot that's pretty dark and will have a consistent temperature. Keep an eye on it. Check it every day, see if it needs to be burped or if it's leaking. This is what it looks like after a day at room temp. It is slightly translucent, still pretty clear. This is the halfway mark. And now this is what it looks like after 2 days at room temp. It is translucent, slightly milky, and you can see when we get up close, there's little bubbles of fermentation action happening. So this is when we know that it's pretty ready. Once it has fermented for the proper amount of time, you can move it to the fridge. It can last in the fridge for a while, probably a month, if not more. And now you have homemade dongchimi. The liquid is amazing. You can use it in Dongchimi Guksu, which is one of my favorite Korean recipes ever. Or you can serve the dongchimi as is, cut alongside some meat or some noodle dishes. It's really amazing on a summer day or whenever. I love dongchimi. I hope you all love it too.
Oh my god, it actually smells like dongchimi. It smells like... It smells good.
Oh, thanks.